So today's session is titled Using LinkedIn as a Business Tool, and our presenter is TLBurriss, a LinkedIn strategist, trainer, and coach. And we really are looking forward to this session. We think it's going to be really educational and informative. So let me tell you a little bit about Teddy. Since early 2010, Teddy has been delivering LinkedIn training and coaching programs for businesses, professionals, guiding them with the best practices and tactics of using LinkedIn as a business tool. Teddy uses strategic planning sessions, corporate training and coaching programs, public speeches, webinars, seminars, workshops, virtual training, and one-on-one coaching to help his global clients from diverse industries master LinkedIn for business. So Teddy, we really appreciate that you're here with us today, and we look forward to hearing from you and seeing your presentation.
Barbara, thank you very much for letting me join in today. Absolutely love doing what I do, especially when I see organizations and individuals go, oh my golly, I had no idea I could do that. Then they start doing something different and better and creating success. So I'm Teddy, and again, the conversation is using LinkedIn as a business tool. I've got no more than 18 slides that I want to use for the conversation. But what I really want to do is I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your questions. So please use the chat. Ask me any questions. I will be monitoring the chat during my discussion or my sharing of information here. So if a question comes up that's relevant, I'll address it at that point. Otherwise, I'll wait, either transitioning from one slide to the next or at the end, where relevant and appropriate and based on time, and normally I can do this, I'll actually drop into LinkedIn and show you and answer your questions directly into LinkedIn. So that said, let me just get started with sharing. Who am I? I'm pretty easy to figure out. I'm a LinkedIn strategist trainer. I've been doing it since about 2007. I got very serious about training people in 2009. I play with LinkedIn every day. I try to break it every day. I try to figure out something to do with it every day so that I can help other people. Just do a Google search for TLBurriss. I remember RISS. If you can't find me, then I've made a huge mistake because I'm all over the internet. So this is a big part of the conversation. First and foremost, what is LinkedIn? It is fact on earth. It's the #1 professional networking site, the #1 professional networking site. There are over 720 million, I wrote 720, over 720 million people on LinkedIn. I got to put an M in front of that. It's just embarrassing. So using LinkedIn on a regular basis. And there are over roughly 2 new members every second. Boom, 2 more. Boom, 2 more. I have a tool that tests this, and I can see it happen, and it's pretty interesting to see it grow. There are 52 million companies represented in some way or another on LinkedIn. And roughly about 40 million of those companies have a somewhat kind of complete LinkedIn page that has their employees associated with it, has their information and their content. And that grows on a regular basis too, because more and more companies are getting serious about representing their company alongside of their employees on LinkedIn. This is an interesting stat, and I've watched this over the years, that currently, and this is a 2020 number, mid-2020 number, that approximately 25% of all LinkedIn members show up at least every other week. Now that sounds low, but in 2019, the middle of 2019, that number was 25% show up once a month. So in 2020 and still growing today, more LinkedIn members are becoming a little bit more active on LinkedIn. And that's important to know, because the more we show up to this networking site, the more opportunity for us to learn, engage, grow, share, and help each other. It is an important platform. for any business to business and business to consumer. And I understand enough about credit unions to know that you have both focuses, business to business with partner companies and member companies for some of the credit unions out there, as well as you're there to serve the individual member. So I look at credit unions as using LinkedIn in a blended mode of business to business and business consumer. And for both of those audiences, again, LinkedIn is still an important business tool for you as individuals to create your presence, for you as individuals to network, and for you as individuals who are customer, member, prospect, member, company facing, for you to build your brand. Again, any questions, feel free to drop them in chat and I'll pay attention to them. So I'm going to break this conversation up into what I call rules. And I use rules because for me, rules are more, rigid than best practices or ideas. So I call them rules, but they'll align with all of these different areas of LinkedIn, which is, again, is your presence, your network, and your engagement or your reputation. Measure to improve. Look, we get this all the time. People get on LinkedIn and they share content. They grow their network. They build their profile. Companies build company pages and they drop content in the company pages. And they don't pay enough attention to the activity to validate, is it worth doing, or should they make an adjustment? Measure includes, does my network want it? And there's ways to pay attention to that. Do they want what you're sharing? Is it beneficial, useful to them, relevant to them? Are the right people viewing my content and my profile? Is my network growing with the right people? Are my followers growing with the right people? These are some of the things you have to measure on a regular basis in order to make sure that you're getting value. And ultimately, the most important measurement is, am I able to move a connection into a meaningful conversation that can move them into a business conversation? This is social networking, and that ultimately the goal is to move the right people into the right conversations that lead to business opportunities. Number 9, lead with give. Your professional and even your personal brand is directly impacted by what you share on LinkedIn. So make sure that you are helping your target audience, giving them information, giving them ideas, giving them content that can help them, that they can grow from, that they can benefit from. Maybe it's content that they enjoy, but you're giving content, you're giving knowledge. And I use this rule. I say, everything I make millions of dollars a year in my mind doing, I give it away. I give it away throughout my LinkedIn content, my LinkedIn engagement, and on other social media as well, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Quorum, etc. So give it all away, and that helps you build your brand, helps you build trust, respect, and like with your audience. And as the more you give, the more opportunity for those that receive what you give to want to know more about you and wanting to get into conversations with you. It's another rule. Treat your LinkedIn network as a portal to success. Build your network very deliberately. I call it purposeful networking. Focus on your goals in the organization. Focus on your goals in your business. Focus on the goals in your department. And then engage with them. I use the word immediately. And that engagement needs to be focused on them. Focused on them initially, so that they give you permission to talk about yourself. And when on LinkedIn, what another philosophy that I apply is make a new connection every day. At least every day, meet someone new, make a new connection. Keep your network growing. It's really not about the numbers, but it's about the growth. And look for different ways to connect with people you meet in life who are relevant to you in lots of different ways, and relevant to your business, relevant to your career goals. I used to regularly say that when I show up in networking events and I see everyone's names there, I will, as I'm listening to them share their information about them, often called their 30-second commercial, while they're sharing their 30-second commercial, I'll be looking for them on LinkedIn, especially in this virtual world that we're in. And so I'm listening to that person talk. I'm looking at their LinkedIn profile. I'm discovering their relevance to me. And if I see that relevance and I've just met them through their 30-second commercial, creates an opportunity for me to connect. My business card process is I'm regularly, when I get new business cards, which I haven't gotten a lot lately, I just gave out a business card about 2 months ago. First time in over a year I've given a business card out because I live in a virtual world now. But my business card process is that I put that business card in my contacts. I put them in my business contacts if they're business relevant. And then I look for them on LinkedIn because I've just met that person. So then I go look for them on LinkedIn and send them an invite to connect there. Treat your network as a portal to lots of ideas and opportunities. Here's another rule. It's your profile's a brochure, not a resume. Let that sink in for a minute. It's a brochure. I use the phrase, your resume is really your ongoing obituary, and nobody wants to read that right now. I'm also a career coach, so I speak to it in that context. But in the context of LinkedIn, you've got to think of it as very deliberately, it's a brochure. Focused on my target audience. Focus on telling them clearly what I do, can do, enjoy doing, relevant to them. How do I serve my target audience in my role? So if you're building a brochure, you need to minimize the distractions, because nobody's really interested in what you did 10 years ago unless it's relevant to what you do today. And your brochure needs to be keyword rich, must use good grammar, have correct spelling. I just met a grammar consultant the other day, and she looked at my LinkedIn profile and offered me lots of tips, and I was grateful, because you want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward when you're writing your LinkedIn profile. Again, speaking to your target audience. And there's another segment of who you're speaking to as well, which is why you want to use as much of your LinkedIn profile space as you can, because not only are you speaking to the human, but you're also speaking to the search bot, the crawlers that crawl the LinkedIn to make sure to find people like you. Got a question. Andrea says that she often hesitant to accept a new connection because it may be become a sales opportunity. And I'm with you, Andrea. I'm very purposeful. I'll probably talk about that in a few minutes, so hang tight. I'll get to that. But the answer to your question is no. You should not welcome and accept all connect requests. Number 6, you see what you touch. Worse than that, you see what you hesitate on. The systems are designed now not just to respond to what you click, like, or comment, or share, or click to read, or click to see more, but the system, the websites are now designed that if you pause on that part of the stream, then they know you're looking at that cat video, or you're looking at that video of a Maserati racing a Land Rover or whatever. If you don't want to see more of it, don't touch it. Don't pause on it as long. If you do want to see more of that type of content, then go look for it. Search for keywords. So touch it more, engage on it in meaningful ways, so that you can influence what's in your newsfeed. Most people have no idea about this. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Quora, YouTube, et cetera, All of these are designed to give you what you want. How do they know what you want? Because you touched it. How do they know what you want? You paused on it. So they'll give you more of it. Never comment with disapproval. If you see something that you didn't like or you think is inappropriate or rude or distasteful or whatever your measure is, move away from it as fast as you can, so that you won't tell the algorithms that you want to see more. Specifically, don't touch it. Now, if someone shared it and you know that person well enough to engage with them, then maybe message them or call them and say, hey, I don't know why you did that. Can you explain to me the value of that? Because I'm trying to be helpful to you and I think you shouldn't have done it. Whatever words are appropriate based on your relationship. Robert asked, can we turn off Big Brother's capabilities? Robert, I'm sorry, we can't. We can influence Big Brother, but we can't turn it off. These systems are designed this way, to give you what you want, Robert. So, it comes back to touch what you want, look for what you want. But no, they make money from our engagement and make money from marketing based on what we engage on. That's across the entire world, not just the internet. Grocery stores have the same thing. If they made a mistake, you might want to private message your friends. But here's something else to make sure you understand. If you don't engage on anything, the algorithms will make choices for you. So if you want to influence Big Brother or the algorithms, then engage on the stuff you want. Engage with those that you care about, and look for diversity in your content. Here's number 5. Never do, say, or engage in any way that you don't want to be seen, heard, or perceived of. Now, this is a quote that was a part of a lesson I gave to some college students. Oh, wait a minute. First of all, it was a lesson I gave to myself, but then it was a program I did for college students that I discovered that not just college students need to know this. We all do. So sometimes we don't think about our engagement and how people perceive it. A lady I coached the other day who wanted to know how to get more people to engage on her business content. And I went and looked and saw that the majority of the content she was engaging on was kittens, and puppies, and koala bears, and et cetera, et cetera. She was engaging less on business content and more on personal, enjoyable content. And I'm okay with that. Let people see that if you like kittens and puppies, a little teeny bit. But you don't want to do, say, or engage in any way that you don't want to be seen, heard, or perceived of in life. So she's subsequently changed her practices and now realizing that she has a better opportunity to engage with more people in a meaningful way. Yes, social media makes it easy for us to do stupid stuff. Try not to give it that opportunity. Even if you think it's private, often it's not. I've had to call CEOs of large organizations and alert them that when I started following them on Instagram, I could see the content that they liked. And then there were a few cases where the content that they liked was a little bit disruptive or distracting from their real personal and professional brand. Sometimes it's not as private as you think. You never know who knows you on LinkedIn. I see this. Somebody recently was sharing some content. One of my first level connections was sharing some content that was disparaging to a company that's one of my clients. The CEO is a friend of mine. And this person's a connection of mine. Fortunately, they're a client. And so in one of my next sessions, I alerted her to be careful what you say and do, because the world is getting smaller. My good friend, Dale Carnegie, as I have another typo here I need to fix, said, never criticize, condemn, or complain. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. And often it's going to hurt you. Again, feel free to drop in the chat any question you have and I'll help you with them. So, Andrew, I haven't forgotten you. I'll get back to that. Here's another big one about using LinkedIn and often other social media as well for business. Be accessible to your target audience. My quote is, you're more likely to be successful the more accessible you are. Just think about that. Look at your current and your contact information and make sure it is up to date. Make sure it's accurate. Make sure there's no typos. Make sure that you can click on your website. It takes you to your website. Make sure that your email address is your current email address and not the one from the other company. Make sure the phone number is your business phone number and not your home phone number that your kids can answer, or again, phone number to the other company. Pay attention to notifications, messages, and invites. Coached a business owner a year or so ago who said, Teddy, I've been ignoring LinkedIn too long. I need to get back on it and get busy. And so as we were coaching him, I looked and we saw an invite that he had received about a year ago from a CEO or business owner of a fairly large company that wanted to do business with him. Now, he knew that company wanted to do business with him, but he didn't the conversation never got started. Well, the reason the conversation never got started is because the business owner sent him a LinkedIn invite to talk, and he never got the invite because this other business owner just wasn't on LinkedIn enough. So pay attention to notifications when people engage with you. Pay attention to LinkedIn messaging. It's not all worthless. Some of it is, irrelevant. Some of those invites are irrelevant, but some of them are relevant and meaningful. A lost opportunity if you're not accessible. A lost opportunity if you're not paying attention. And yeah, I've seen many situations where they missed an opportunity because they didn't respond. They missed an opportunity because they didn't see that tag where someone mentioned them publicly in a comment and said, let's talk. Number 3, it's called social media. And so think about getting into real and meaningful conversations socially. So when you walk up to someone at a networking event, you do this on a regular basis, you walk up to them and you strike up a conversation. Well, the same thing on LinkedIn, same thing on social media. Make the conversation all about the other person until you get permission to talk about yourself. So you see a post on LinkedIn and conversations going on. Find a way to be a part of that conversation. And you can use open-ended questions in the discussion. Someone posts something that's relevant and interesting or meaningful to you or to your business. Engage with them and go, wow, that's an interesting perspective. Tell me more. Maybe move that conversation offline. Maybe make it private. But either way, you have to listen to what people are saying. Listen to the words they're using. Often, the real message is hidden. The real opportunity is hidden in the words they use. The real opportunity is to pull them deeper into a conversation and see how you can help them or how they can help you. Again, any questions, feel free to go to chat. I'll monitor it. It's a human to human thing. It really is. I mean, the brands are important. The company pages are important. The showcase pages are important. The company content's important. But what's more important is the human to human interaction. Two humans engaging publicly. No one wants to talk to your bot. Lots of people want to use automation. And I think that automation diminishes the value of a human-to-human engagement. I get this on a regular basis. Someone will send me an invite to connect, and their words just don't match up with the presentation of that person. So because I'm a strategist, it's my job to figure out what's going on here. So I will often ask, are you using automation to send this invite? Sometimes they answer, sometimes they don't. Sometimes when I ask a question relevant to what they said to me, the automation comes back and tries to take me in another direction because that's the way it was scripted. No one wants to talk to your bot. Strive to be real. Strive to be authentic. Strive to be yourself, not someone else. You never want to present two different personas of yourself in real life and something different on social media. And some of you may remember what Dr. Seuss said years ago. Today you are you. That is truer than true. There's no one alive who is youer than you. I love his words, but it's real. And this applies to social media and applies to LinkedIn as well. So, it's okay to use your words as long as your words are appropriate. You don't need to have, every time you post on LinkedIn, you don't need an editor. So if you forgot the Oxford comma, you forgot the Oxford comma. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. We're human. But be you. Be true. Be authentic. I wrote the book, Networking for Mutual Benefit, and LinkedIn is, because it's a professional networking site, this applies there. This networking creates huge long-term value. It's not a race, it's a journey. And you've got to think about, what is networking all about? It's about two humans meeting and having conversations and getting to know each other a little bit. It's about people discovering you a little bit more every day. And when you are focused on your target audience in your networking, and when you're focused on helping your target audience, it'll come back to you. If you're networking only for yourself, it often will not work as well. And I've experienced that, some mistakes I've made along the way. And this is important as well on social media as well, on LinkedIn as well as in real life. People don't care about you until they know how much you care about them. And none of this is hard to do. None of this is difficult. These are just the mindsets and the philosophies you need to use. And I teach the philosophy before I teach the tactical. Here's a bonus rule. Again, it's not a race, it's a journey. If you try to bust through this, building your network really big, build out your LinkedIn profile, all about your company, shoving content into the news feed as fast as you can, all about your business, it will fail. It will truly fail. You need to pick a pace that you can sustain and then stick to it. You need to know your purpose for building your profile, your purpose for building your network, your purpose for engaging, your purpose for sharing, and keep doing it along the journey. And pay attention to when you need to make adjustments or pivots. If you find out your network really likes this style of content, then you make an adjustment. If you find out that people really resonate more when you share just a simple text post, something that you heard or made you think, then do more of that. Oh, Lordy. And don't get all bent out of shape and try to go viral. That will fail. It's the sum of everything you do, not one piece of content. There's two more little bonus tips before I'll drop into LinkedIn and answer more questions. Don't become addicted to it. It's not the only tool. It's one of the tools. Schedule time to work on LinkedIn on a regular basis. You don't need to read everything you see in your news feed. You don't need to see it all or comment on it all. Get over the FOMO, fear of missing out. It's already gone down the stream. Ignore it. Keyword relevance. This is important. Keywords are important. And relevance is the big keyword here. Don't compare yourself to others. We're all different. Don't try to be like everyone else. Every industry is a little bit different. Credit unions are different than banks. Credit unions are different than other finance organizations. And credit union employees are different than these other employees. So be yourself, be a little different. Every role should be a little different. Every goal can be a little different. You may emulate what you see that you like, that's relevant to you, but don't copy and don't compare. So I'm going to go into LinkedIn because I've got about 20 minutes left, 25 minutes. I want to answer your questions. So I want to drop into LinkedIn and I want to answer your questions. So then I'm helping you as best I can. So please ask me any question. Drop it in the chat and I'll answer it for you. So something interesting I saw earlier yesterday that I'm hoping is still the same. Nope. So yesterday this screen was wide and they shrunk it down to a smaller screen. So it was them experimenting with stuff. But your headline, 220 characters, speaking to your target audience. Your contact information. Customize your LinkedIn profile URL. Have your most important website listed. Your business phone number, your business email address. You only show Twitter if you use Twitter. Okay. Any questions, drop them in here. I want to share a few ideas while I'm waiting for questions. Your about section, the first 3 sentences need to be very appealing to your target audience, telling them clearly what you can do for them. Because if you don't get their attention here, I'm not going to click on see more and read the rest. Pay attention to your dashboard. How many people are looking at my profile? How often do I show up in searches? Build out your experience section. Your title does not need to be an HR assigned title. Does not need to be. It can be keyword rich. And then tell a story about what you do for your clients, your target audience, your members, your member companies. So prior experience, minimize it or get rid of it unless it shows professional growth or is relevant. Higher ed only, don't need high schools, don't need preschool or middle school. Certifications that are relevant. Volunteer experience in regards to serving and supporting your community. Skills that are relevant to who you are and what you do. You don't worry about endorsements. That's not a big deal. And the last piece on here is what's called accomplishments. There's 8 different sections in accomplishments. Again, put content that's relevant. Showing your target audience, your member companies, your members, what you do for them, what you can do for them, what you have done for them. Look at LinkedIn search. If you've never played with LinkedIn search, and there's lots of features in here that are useful. When you go into search, LinkedIn not only does search for people, but you can search for content, search for companies. None of you are searching for jobs. Maybe search for groups and schools, events, and courses. And then if you're searching for people, look at the filters that you have. You got connections, locations, company, but look here. I've got, past company, schools they went to, industries they're a part of, languages they speak, service categories, as well as I can search by first name, last name, or title. Lots of filters available to really narrow down your search to find the member companies you're looking for and to find the individuals in those member companies that may be the people you want to talk with, may be the people you want to connect with. Interestingly enough, a recent change to LinkedIn is that when I look at companies, we now have 5 filters for companies. This is brand new, about 3 or 4 months ago. So I can look for companies in locations, not just countries, but I can go to city level, region level. I can look for companies that are in specific industries, specific company size, and if I'm connected to them or they have any jobs listed. Really makes LinkedIn search, basic LinkedIn search, this is not paid for companies way more useful. Any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I want to give you ideas, but I really want to answer your questions. Messaging, LinkedIn messaging, pretty powerful LinkedIn messaging. And on the desktop, it's pretty straightforward. I can drop an image, I can drop an attachment, I can put a video in here, et cetera, other things, GIFs and emoticons. But on the mobile, when you do a message, you can do a live video recording or a live audio recording and send it through your mobile app. Hannah asks, so a non-HR assigned title is ethical to share? I would think that's misleading. No, Hannah, this is absolutely ethical. You're not going to change the definition of who you are, but you do not need to present yourself with an HR assigned title. There's nothing unethical about it. This is your brochure. The Ford F-150 is not called a Ford F-150 in the production plan. It's called something different. So yeah, it's again, I don't want you to be misleading. You're going to talk about your role. You're going to talk about what you do in your company, but you don't have to use, what's the term? Oh, the lady was accounts payable A through L. That was our HR assigned title, accounts payable A through L, which tells me there was also an accounts payable M through Z. What does that tell anybody? Doesn't tell the viewer what you can do. I'm the president of my company. I don't use the word president. Nobody cares I'm the president. They want to know what I do for them. So great point, Hannah. Appreciate the question. I don't want to be unethical. I don't want to be misleading, but I also want to use LinkedIn as a business tool and a brochure. So great question. Company pages. If I go look at company pages, let's see, I don't know what companies are represented here. I would bring up a company. If somebody wants to drop their company name out here, I might bring up a company name. Anybody want to share the name of their credit union? I'll bring up their company page if they would like. I need to know what LG stands for, Courtney. Courtney, give me that one. Meanwhile, I'll bring up South Carolina Federal Credit Union. So there's the company page for South Carolina. Do a new tab and I'll do LinkedIn here. And I'll bring up local government federal credit union. So there's 2 of them. Oh, I see that. It shows up under about. You show up under banking. I get it. I kind of wish they'd have credit unions in industry as well. But this is you have 1,200 followers to local government, 217 employees. And so, look at what your overview says. How does it speak to your target audience? How does it speak to your members? And how does it speak to your member organizations? And then look and see what your posts are. What kind of content are you sharing? And how's that content serve, help, intrigue, motivate, inspire your target audience? And so really cool presentation. And look, and now you have 1,269 followers. You look at, the home page and how do you present yourself when people look at your home page? And so that that your company page is speaking to your target audience. Go back to South Carolina, 6,400 followers. That's an impressive number with 375 employees. Got your website there, SC Federal. I'm assuming your website. And then again, what does your about section say? What do your posts say? If I go back up here to posts, what are your posts saying? If we go here to most recent, to your target audience. And, you know, how's the story about celebrating April and working for the company or for the credit union? How does that story speak to your target audience? Lots of ideas I want people to think about when they're doing this. A lot of rich content here. And so again, you want to make sure you're sharing with your target audience in ways that help them, in ways that serve them, motivate them, encourage them. So company pages are important. Personal profiles are, I think, more important. And so Jacqueline, can I get a yes or no? Can I bring your profile up? She said yes. So I'm typing in South Carolina. And I think this is Jackie here. So Jackie's, you know, you haven't built out your profile yet. You have work to do. You don't have a headline. You're growing your network. That's great. You know, you don't have an about section, but there's lots that you can do. My point about this whole course, this whole sharing with you is there are lots that you can do to grow your profile. Again, Jackie, based on your purpose, based on what you're trying to do, based on how you serve your clients. And, you know, how can LinkedIn help you? Look, you know, Chrissy, I know Chrissy. So, Courtney, may I bring yours up? And anybody else want me to share theirs, I will be more than happy just to answer questions about it. Courtney, is it local? Whoop, I spelled local wrong because I know that was her. So here's Courtney's profile. Courtney's just getting started growing her network. Courtney, you didn't do a headline here. What that looks like to me is it's a replicated this down here. Okay, you replicated that. There's a little checkbox that you could have unchecked and you could have written whatever you wanted to write there with 220 characters. Contact information. You don't have the website for the company. Now I can't see your phone number, your email address, but anyway, you just want to look at this and look at the ideas that I shared with you and how can you make this better? Kathy Moore jumped in here. Kathy, what credit union are you with? What's the name of your credit union? Greenville. See how I did this, Kathy? Greenville Heritage. So Kathy's got two profiles. I can see this right now. She has two profiles. You got to get rid of that one, Kathy. So, and if you want me to know how to do that, I can tell you how to do that offline. So, you know, you want business development director. I get that. Message me, Kathy, and I'll tell you how to do that. It's not too hard. You know, your contact information, you haven't customized that. And you don't have your website there, but this is all work in progress. You don't have an about section, huge value add with your about section where you're telling your members, you're telling your community, you're telling your prospects what you do for them. You tell a story. And but you know, I'm kudos for growing your network, keep it growing. Just think about, you know, telling a story about what you do, what you can do, what you enjoy doing as you help your target audience. My profile is immense. I didn't start with mine. Mine, for the most part, I mean, I've really spent a lot of time building mine out. And the reason I invested that much time is because I want to show up. I want to be found. So when people do a LinkedIn search or a Google search, often I show up on the top of the list. Can't beat out the ads, but I do often show up on the top of the list. So anyway, just lots of things to think about, lots of ideas. If anybody else wants me to look at their company page or their profile, I'm happy to do it. Just to help you with more ideas. Just drop your name in the chat or the name of your credit union. And I'm more than happy to share ideas with you. while I'm waiting for anybody else to jump in, something else to show you is that when you're looking for content, look for content that's related to the services that your credit union does for its members. It's not always all about money. It's, maybe it's about, other areas of finance. Maybe it's all about other areas of your community, and look for content that your member communities use. If you're in a community where, I can go look for a company in Greenville. Is that Greenville South, Kathy? I think it is. So I'll find a company in Greenville South, Greenville Spartanburg, and then maybe I want to pay attention to companies that are in Greenville South. And there's Floor. They're in Irving, Texas. I said Greenville South. They must have divisions in these other areas. So I go down here and find one that I know is in Greenville South. Wow, there must be regions. Transplace must have a region or an office there. Here's Hubble Lighting. So pay attention to your member, your targeted member companies. Maybe you want to follow them so you see the content that pops up about, from Hubble or regarding Hubble employees or Hubble products or Hubble engagement in the community, so that you can, participate in the engaging with them. And, follow these companies so you can pay attention to them. Furthermore, you might want to go to the people, go look at the 865 people that work for Hubble in Spartanburg, second level. Go to look for people. Come on, where's Spartan location? I want to go to Spartanburg, Greenville. Find the employees down there and pay attention to the employees. So it's second level. So if I get rid of that, I can find more. And you don't have to connect with Garth Warner or Jill, but if you see that they're active on LinkedIn and they're relevant to what you do in HR, then maybe I want to look at Garth's profile. Maybe I want to pay attention to his content. Maybe I'll just follow him just to pay attention to him. Give me an opportunity to engage with him. So lots of different ways to do this, in lots of different tactics. What I really want to encourage you though is that there are hundreds of things you can do on LinkedIn, but you don't need to do them all. You need to do the things that are meaningful. You need to do the things that are relevant. You need to do the activities and the engagement, the connecting and the sharing that helps you in your role in the credit union. Helps you to, grow your member base, help you to build trust and respect. So lots of different things you can do. Anybody else have another question or, want me to engage with their profile? Please drop it in chat and ask me any question. So Courtney says, what's one action you can take to grow personal network versus company page followers? The top tactic to grow your personal network is start, Courtney, with connecting with people who are relevant to you. Start connecting with people you already know. First and foremost, Courtney, I guarantee you know more than 114 people. Start connecting with your inner circle. And as you do that, you'll get greater opportunities to find second level people that you may know and you may want to connect with. That's the most important thing, is to grow it initially with the people you already know. Company page followers, by the way, we'll speak to that a little bit. A way to grow your company page followers is to have a campaign of inviting your community focused, your prospect focused, your member focused employees, invite them to be an admin and let them invite their most important network connections to follow the company page. Maybe you've done that, I don't know. Courtney asked, from a business page management perspective, do you know of any way to unlink an employee who may no longer be the company because they have your company listed in their profile? They still show up tied to your business. There is a process. There's a LinkedIn help document. I think it's called removing connections, removing employees. do a LinkedIn search for that, Courtney. You may find it. If you can't find it, message me and I'll send it to you. Andrea said, Teddy, look at my LinkedIn profile. What's the name of your, I got it, thank you. I was going to ask for your last name or your company name. Is this Andrea here? This is probably Andrea here. So Andrea, are you willing for me to give you some critique? I need to see the word yes. You did yes, I'll go with that. You need a picture, Andrea, and maybe you have one, but you're hiding it from people you're not connected with. So you absolutely need a picture. A picture says you are approachable. It's vital. You need to be approachable, okay? And and Andrea's right down the street from me. So that would be my big one. And then my next one for you, Andrea, would be, put the website, you show me your birthday, which is just a little bit past mine. You customize your LinkedIn profile URL, that's great, but you don't have your website here. And then additionally, the other big one is use your about section. Tell a little bit of a story about who Andrea is, what she does, what she can do, and what she enjoys doing for your target audience. Gabrielle jumped back in, and I got enough time for one more. What's the name of the credit union, Gabrielle? Did I miss that? I need to know the name of your credit union. Is it Legacy? Local government. Oh, that's right. I apologize. I forgot about that. So picture, great. Nightdale. I have daughters that live around Nightdale. Contact information, repeat some of the things. Put the company name. So I called you Gabrielle and you go by Gabby. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. I got a granddaughter named Gabby, who is also Gabrielle. Your about section, your Gabrielle, can I critique? Yes or no, can I critique? Which means positive criticism or positive critique. You absolutely don't vet yourself. I know you're personable. I know you're passionate. I know you're self-motivated. I know you're an advocate. Tell me what you do using those attributes. Tell me what you do with those powerful attributes. Tell me what you do in your role here. What do you do? And if you're internal and you serve the internal audience or internal target audience, then tell me what you do for the employees of the credit union that it serves the members. It's a really cool way of writing that. So yeah, absolutely. I hope these are useful to you. I'll be driving through Nightdale in a couple days. Courtney asked, last question. Courtney asked how not to come across as spammy when reaching out to connect with those who may not be a part of your inner circle. Courtney, that's powerful question. Powerful question. So Courtney, here's how you do it. If I want to connect with Courtney and I don't want to see spammy, I'm going to call Matt Stocking up and I'm going to ask Matt to introduce me to you. Don't send invites out to people who don't know you. Ask the people you've got a mutual connection with, which is why you want to keep growing your network. Ask the mutual connections to introduce you. That is powerful, way more powerful than me sending you an invite with a note that says, hey, Courtney, please connect. I see we have mutual connections. Ask for introductions, much richer. So cool. Barbara, Brittany, I appreciate the opportunity to share. I'm yielding back to you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for letting me share with you today.
All right, thank you, Teddy. Very interesting, lots of information, a lot of questions, a lot of good questions. So we really, really appreciated that. Thank you for your time, and we'll be in touch with you, I'm sure, in the future.